Hello and welcome to the Asia Lifestyle Magazine Podcast. Today we are joined by Brent Collier. He is known as Brent Moves on Instagram, but also a long-standing veteran in Bali. You've been there for what, over 10 years now?
Just about 10 years.
Okay.
This year will be 10 years.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
So you're known for Beyond the Mat, you're known for a few things, and you are known for a few products, but your niche is AcroYoga.
AcroYoga, yeah.
Cool. So tell me, what is AcroYoga?
Yeah.
I never knew what it was until you actually told me about it.
Well, you have to kind of see it and understand it. It's acro, as in short for acrobatics.
Yeah.
And put together with yoga, you're creating poses. But instead of being on the mat by yourself, you are doing it with a partner. So there's two of you creating these acrobatic yoga poses, hence AcroYoga.
We did a session this morning.
We did.
Like a really brief session. It was illuminating. Like it was really good. And I've done yoga sessions with different teachers before. And on top of that, my father is very yoga orientated as well. And he's got his books about it. And I've never done something like what you've done, except for when I was in Spain and there was like a show at a hotel and there was a couple of Brazilian guys doing some somersaults and stuff. And I held somebody up and it was pretty similar, but wow, like, bone stacking really got me.
Yeah. It's all about the technique, about how you do something, not necessarily your muscular strength and flexibility. And a lot of people, when they see AcroYoga, they think, oh, I can't do this. But as I showed you with the proper guidance, you can do it. And that's one of the illuminating practices that AcroYoga teaches you, is that your mind is what limits really what you think you can do. And when you can break through that, you can create these amazing accomplishments. You
show me some poses and I was struggling at first, but then when just a slight adjustment and I was fine.
Yeah.
One thing I would say for yoga in general, I think, being able to stretch and being able to, move your body in certain places is really important. But what AcroYoga for this session that I just did for me was the fact that I could communicate really well with my partner. So obviously I did it with my wife, and our communication's good. We work together. We've worked together for a long time as well. But I felt that our communication was even more intense because we were relying on each other, and it went both ways.
Absolutely, yeah. This is one of the key cornerstones of AcroYoga, is communication. You're not just on the yoga mat by yourself. You have a partner that you're working with. You need to tell them what you need. They need to tell you what they need, and together you can work to create these poses. And it's amazing to bring couples who have been together for a long time or have been married for a long time and see where their communication really is. And you guys did fantastic. And right away you're communicating, you're talking back and forth. Not everybody's like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it can really be a practice into an opportunity to strengthen that communication. Because you are, at the end of the day, just doing amateur acrobatics. The stakes are high, but you're not like, 3 stories in the air. If things go wrong, you fall, you laugh, and you fix it. So it's a very safe space to practice communication.
It really put my body into parts where I wasn't normally comfortable to be. And one thing that I really struggled with was laying on the floor with my lower back. I've got a bad back. And I think most men at a certain age, something goes and normally it's the lower back. I had a really bad injury before. It done my back. I stopped training for about a year. And your mat was the thing that really shifted the ability.
Absolutely.
Such a small change, but it made a difference. Actually, we have the mat here, don't we? We'll get one of the assistants.
So this is actually how my journey kind of started, was with this pillow itself, because I had a similar injury with my lower back. I had 2 herniated discs in my back, and it's from sitting on the computer. This is what we do mostly. You sit and work, you sit in the car to go home, you sit in front of the TV, you're just sitting. And my lower back got so bad, I couldn't walk. I was going to doctors who were saying I need surgery to walk again. I was put on morphine for 11 months.
Wow.
It was one of the most painful and agonizing things I've ever been through. And I ended up going on a self-healing journey, which was what brought me to Bali. I was like, I know the back can be healed if it has the right environment, the right nutrition, and the right exercises. I can fix this. And that's what brought me to Bali to do yoga, and that's when I fell in love with AcroYoga. But to do it, as you were experiencing, laying on the floor is not comfortable.
Yeah.
We're not used to this position. Our bodies are tight. We have tight hamstrings, tight lower back. And that's where I come up with this pillow. So you guys can see. This pillow.
QVC session.
I haven't done one of these yet. It's a foldable pillow. So it's really simple design, a triangular wedge that your butt lays this way and your head goes this way. And what this does is it tilts your pelvis just enough to allow your legs not have to be completely straight, which alleviates pressure on the hamstrings, which as we get older, those tighten up. And it gives cushion for the back so that when you have another person's body, the weight is going into the pillow. And at first, I created this pillow just for me, and I would bring it to classes and jams, and people would, where'd you get that? That's cool. And so I made one, I made two, made three, made 10, and then I started making 50 at a time. And I had this great name for this, the AcroBack, because it's AcroYoga and for your back. And I was like, this is perfect, okay. So started making it, and then it's just caught on. If you're in the AcroYoga community, a lot of people use pillows, this one or similar ones like it, because just laying on the ground is not comfortable.
Sure.
But this is the difference between you being able to do this and not at all. So it's fantastic little pillow. It's got a waterproof cover on top, so when you sweat, as you saw, it was a sweaty day to day.
Sure.
You don't get the inside all moldy. It's foldable, so you can take it on the go. Has this nice magnetic closure, so it stays closed. And then it has a strap to strap you in. When we get to some more advanced things, you're moving around a lot. We did one transition today, but when you're doing a lot of those, you can slide around. This helps keep it in.
So you fastened it?
Yeah, you fasten it, and it's like wearing a belt.
It was night and day. I don't want to be too salesy on this because it's more about like showing people what's available in Asia, what Asia's about. But with this, it allowed me to do what I wouldn't been able to do. And I've done lots of different sessions and exercises for videos and stuff like that. But yeah, I was surprised what difference it made.
Yeah, I relate it to like running with shoes. You can run without shoes, sure. I'm not gonna go as far. It's gonna hurt along the way.
Yeah.
Why not put a pair of shoes on and you can enjoy what you're doing a lot more. It helps with the body.
Yeah.
It just makes it more comfortable. And it's been a product that sells itself, really.
Awesome.
I did not come to Bali thinking I'm going to start a pillow company. Let's do this. Completely off my radar. I initially made it kind of for me as a joke, I didn't think other people would want it. And it's just little by little, people have been, I want this. And now I'm shipping internationally around the world.
Wow.
I have a brand. I have other products I'm coming out with. The company is definitely growing. It's been a wild journey to be on it, especially in Bali, having a business there.
All right, well, we'll get one of the assistants to take the pillow away. Let's talk about that business journey, because you've started a company in Bali, in Indonesia. Tell me how that was, because first-hand information is obviously the best information for me anyway. So where did you begin from?
It has been a wild ride, I'll tell you that. Sure, starting a business, I'm from America. I went to business school in California. I know how to run a business, or I thought I did, at least what I was taught. And in my previous life, my early years, I was a business consultant, so I'd travel around to many different businesses. So I got to see the inner workings of them. And coming to Bali, just had to throw all of everything I learned out the window.
Oh, wow.
It was just, it still applied, but the rules were very different, whole different game.
Okay.
And relationships are very, very, very important. Especially, you think about Bali, it was early 2000s, Eat, Pray, Love came out.
Yeah.
Before that, it was a destination, but nowhere near what that movie did for the island. And after that, it had just been an explosion of business, explosion of tourism, all coming to Bali. And it's the Wild West out there of opening a business. There's the legal way to do things and go through all the paperwork, and it can take a long, long time to get through this process. And then there's the not so legal way.
I think that's prevalent throughout Asia.
Yeah.
When you're looking at opening a business in Asia, what I've found, and I've traveled Asia to open businesses, I've gone to these countries, I've gone and spoken to multiple lawyers in multiple destinations throughout Asia, and there's the easy way and there's the easier way.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that the easier way is prevalent in Indonesia as well.
Yeah, and it's the easier way is there. But me coming in, I really wanted to do it the right way. I really wanted to do all the paperwork, get the right certifications, get the right licensing, do this the right way.
Start your foundations on proper on proper footings.
And it's a good thing that I've done that, and because now I've been there over the years, I've seen people who have not followed the right path and they fall off. They're not around in Bali anymore.
Right.
The political landscape continuously changes, which brings in new rules and regulations. So I'm safeguarded by having the right things rather than just handshake agreements with people.
Yeah.
But it does bring challenges that every couple of years the regulations change, and I have to stay up to date on that with my lawyers, with trying to get the right information of what needs to be done, and just to play the game right.
A big part of starting the business, I mean, did you need Indonesian partners? Did you open up on your own?
Yeah.
What was the process?
Getting Indonesian partners definitely helps a lot.
Okay.
I would not go into this without doing that. That's one of the big recommendations I can put out there. Get some Indonesian partners who know what they're doing. There's ways you can do it without them. You're going to pay a lot more, because every step along the way somebody wants their hand out to get commission for doing if you're trying to get paperwork done, but that could pass through 5, 6, 7 people who are all passing it out, so your bill just goes higher and higher. But having an Indonesian who knows the ways can get that paper in front of the right people faster, and so you can save a lot of money that way too. And getting people who know the different departments, so there's like Department of Immigration, Department of Labor, the Tourism Department, all of these kind of work in silos, so you might be doing something right with 2 of them, but the third one you could be doing completely wrong. So there's a lot of gray area, and it's very important to have someone who can help figure out if you're in the right zone, if things are green and you can go, or to hold back. And nobody's immune to this. There's some big projects in Bali, the big budget, multi-million-dollar projects that been around for 3-5 years and then suddenly get axed and just have to completely shut down.
Wow.
Because they didn't do something right. They tried to cut corners somewhere. Different things happen along the way. So you have to really safeguard and protect yourself.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people hungry for, the payday, and will tell you anything to get things done, but you really have to make sure they get done right.
Yeah.
And I've had these issues along the way. I've filed for different licenses for my company as it was growing. Found out a year later that those licenses actually never got filed.
Wow.
I paid for them. I got receipts back for them, but when I went and checked at the office later next year, found out they never actually got done. So you have to constantly check things are getting done right. I'm trying to do things right, and then I find out they're not. That's very disheartening, but you can't just give up along the way too, because it's not an easy journey. If it was something that I would just pick up and do, I have a lot more people who would be doing it, I would say.
Sure.
And to stick with it kind of sets you apart from the rest of the pack.
I think a massive part of, starting a business in Asia there's a lot of people that do it without speaking the local language.
Yeah.
You have gone out and learned Indonesian.
Yes, yeah. That was one of the first things I did when I came to Bali, was sign up for school to learn Indonesian. And I really saw the benefit of that when I was in Thailand learning Thai, and even the small amount that I did know, it opened up a lot of doors, getting prices cheaper, just haggling at the market. So when I came to Bali, I said, okay, I'm gonna be here for longer. I want to learn the language. So I signed up for classes, had twice a week, online, one-on-one, learning the language, and now can read and write it pretty well, speaking it, and it's just opened up a lot. Conversation. It's one thing to know the words, but when you start to understand the cultural differences and the way things are done, that is when it really started to make a lot more sense in Indonesia.
So you lived in Thailand for a good time as well. You were studying in the University of Chiang Mai before.
Yeah, Chiang Mai University. I did a study abroad program there from the States, and that was my first introduction to Asia, different cultures. And while there, part of the university program, we studied Thai. So that was a really eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
And then that kind of gave me the travel bug to move around and check out the world, and that's what brought me to Bali, I guess.
The thing is, when people think about like starting a business in Asia, there are so many hurdles that you can get stuck on. But language, when you speak the language, it can just make you glide through compared to what other people go through.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think it really sets people aside. It sets people a level above the rest. Genuinely.
Yeah, it does. And because then you're just at the mercy of someone else translating and summarizing a document for you. And when it comes to legal matters and things for your business, you want to know firsthand what that is being said. And time again, I've been told things regarding licensing around business. It says one thing, and then I go in and read it. I'm like, no, this says something completely different. And so it's been helpful in those avenues to make sure I don't get tripped up.
What advice would you give to somebody who wants to start a business in Bali?
Come in, know exactly what you want to start the business for, be very niche, go all in on that, and make sure you get the right relationships with the people in that industry, also the right relationships with people in the legal and the government. And this all helps by learning the language, but also being part of the community there, not just being your expat, living your own life away from the locals. Be part of the local community, go to ceremony, go to the different traditions that they have, and embed yourself within that community. And that will help you build the relationships with the right people in the local area as well as the government. And then once you have that going for you, everybody wants to see you succeed. They're not trying to block you. And especially if you're helping the community grow by providing jobs, by providing services to the community, then you're really a foundation of the community and you can grow.
What communities are there in Bali? Because, you know, a lot of people think it's just full of yogis, but there's obviously different parts of Bali. Yeah. So you've got different, a lot of people that I speak to, they've come from Bali and they've been working in a co-working space for several months. And so what communities are there?
There's a lot of bubbles there.
Okay.
There's everything from, yoga is a big one. Yeah, yoga and surf are probably like the big communities that people drop into, but beyond that, there are the crypto community, very big. The entrepreneur startup community, very big. The health coaching, wisdom, wellness coaching, very big there. The biohacking, I would say, that's becoming a much bigger thing, especially wellness vacations and health vacations, biohacking, sleep hacking, these different new age thinkings, AI. All of these has a big influence into Bali because this generation is all living and working remotely in Bali, living in paradise, but still working on the forefront of these cutting edge technologies and thoughts. So it brings all these bubbles.
So what are these bubbles doing for Bali in general? Because obviously there's a lot of Instagrammable spots popping up, but is it sustainable, or is it just going to be the fad for the moment, for the picture?
Well, I've been saying that for a while. It still seems to be growing. I joke that to get into Bali, you have to have an Instagram account. You go to Canggu, everyone is a model, everyone is an influencer, just beautiful people everywhere. And then everyone doing surfing or AI or crypto. It's like those come out of your mouth.
It's the combo.
Yeah. And
it's one of the ingredients.
And so what this has done is created a lot of new businesses that service these activities. So there's like gym after gym after gym for people wanting to weightlift and maintain health. The yoga studios have already been there. There's yoga studio to help influence the yogis, which brings more people to do yoga, which makes more studios, which brings more people, and it's a cycling effect. And you have the same thing with now AI being very popular. A lot of AI meetups and entrepreneur sessions where you can learn how to use AI for your business. And these has made rapid growth for Bali. Even within a matter of months, streets will completely change because new buildings are being built at such a fast rate. There's new villas coming in.
Wow.
That they can't keep up with demand of so many villas are being built. They're not being all filled out. So we're in like a bubble at the moment. We'll see how that goes.
I can see a little bit of a pop coming.
It's coming. We just had a big one during COVID with the whole rest of the world, but another big one is coming because a lot of people come to Bali and get sucked in and start living there, and it all tends to be the like-minded same people, which is really great because you get to meet really amazing people from around the world. And that's one of the things that's really kept me there, is the people that I meet are just all doing something cool, on vacation, have just launched some company or sold some company or some exciting thing that they're doing that I would never cross paths with, but in Bali, here I am, and they're from all around the world. And you get this mix of, the yogis interacting with the crypto community, and just weird stuff happens, like art installations that are funded with, a lot of money. And it creates just a really cool vibe scene there. It's just a cool place to be.
Comparing it to Phuket, I think that Bali's more for the younger generation. And Phuket's more for the end of the line. They've sold their company.
I can see that.
They've got their money. Or they're putting their family their kids to be educated here, and then they'll go off and work somewhere else. I think Phuket and Bali, they get put in the same category a lot of the time, but they're completely different animals.
I could absolutely see that. Because most of the infrastructure in Bali is new, so in the last 10 years. So it's geared around younger generations, and only now we're starting to look at things like schools and education for the kids, because the people that were here 10, 15 years ago, or their kids are now growing up, and where do we educate them properly? And Phuket's already had that kind of...
Phuket's got 13 international program schools.
You've had that established already.
We've got 4-lane highways all over the island. We've got a superior electricity grid compared to Bali, and we've got 8 major hospitals, which at least half of them are VIP hotels. People complain about a little traffic jam in Phuket, but they haven't seen the traffic in Bali.
This is nothing.
When comparing Phuket to Bali, I think if you don't mind getting, if you want more energy and vibes, then go to Bali. But if you want more quality, and you have to pay for it, there's a price to pay, but quality and a higher level of living, if that makes sense, more like fine dining restaurants. It's not about the Instagram, it's about the quality. I think in Phuket. It's
more sophisticated growing up, but Bali's young and exciting and cool, but it's still got a lot of growing up to do. The infrastructure was not built to handle this many people coming. It's changing, but it's a small island, and we get by, but it's not perfect all the time.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say about starting a business here in an established area where you have a lot more competition, but you have a lot more infrastructure?
So
how would that compare to Bali?
So I would say that starting a business in Thailand is very similar. You do need Thai partners to help you along the way. Most often than not, it would be a Westerner with their Thai wife, for example, or Thai husband, for example. But basically, it'd be a Westerner with their Thai partner, and they would start a business together. That's what I see most of the time. If they do seek investment or actual business partners, that's another story. And there is the easier way that you can go, which I don't recommend. But needs must for some people. The other thing as well is that the process would take about 2 months to start a business. It's 1 month to book your name, and then it's another month to get all the paperwork together. The actual fee to start a business in Thailand is actually only 6,000 baht. It's only 130 pounds, which is nothing. It's like $150. But if you go with an agent, with an accountant, then it will cost you, you can 10x that number. And
Same in Bali.
Happily pay that number as well, because it's not about getting ripped off to start a company. It's getting everything in place that you're not going to get bitten later. And I don't mind. Like every time I start a company, I go to my accountant. I say, look, this is what we're going to be doing. These are the shareholders, and this is the growth plan that we have. I want to have this much money going through it, so we need to set our capital before we start the business. If we know it's going to be a high returns company, then we need to set the appropriate capital. Over here, the tax law is I think it's very clear, but a lot of people get disillusioned with the tax law because keep it really easy. 7% VAT if you're doing over 1.8 million a year in revenue. So that's 7% VAT, and then on average it's about 20% business tax here. Now, to withdraw your dividends, it's very easy. To pay your staff, it's very easy. But every single time that you have a one work permit for a foreigner, you need 4 ties to one work permit. And if you're married though, you only need 1 tie to one work permit. So it's a lot better if you're married. It's geared towards people that want to stay here for a long term. Basically, it's geared towards people that want to set down roots.
Indonesia has very similar methodology and some of the same similar concepts. Very geared at people to come and to put roots in and to stay there and to enable the local workforce to have jobs.
I think it's great.
It's great, if I was the government trying to entice people to come and start their businesses here, I would do the same thing. You got to come, put money down, stay here a long time. You don't want the companies who are just here for a couple of years and then pop off.
What you mentioned earlier about doing a niche or basically having your niche and sticking to it, I get a lot of people coming to me and they say, hey, I want to do this. And the idea sounds so ridiculous or so out there, but sometimes that's what's needed. But everybody thinks they have the best idea and they last 5 minutes. And it's, I hate to say, whenever you have yoga studios and you have one yoga studio be really successful, then you have several other yoga studios that pop up in that area. I don't think that's detrimental to the business because I think people go to that area for yoga. They go to that area for Muay Thai. They go to that area and you do get your bubbles.
Maybe niche was the wrong word there. I'm saying don't do rent motorcycles, sell chickens, and run a yoga studio all under one thing. Don't try to do everything at once. But having something like yoga or a surf shop, if you're the only one, that's great. But when you have 5, 6, 7, 8 other, and you create a little destination for that spot, then that can really change the game especially for tourist places where people are looking for experiences and activities to go to a place. So that can absolutely help. But it's probably similar here with the licensing, trying to do too many things with their businesses, and I see this happen with other people. They want to, have a little laundromat and a restaurant and rent motorbikes and do everything all at once.
It starts to be really confusing for people. And I've juggled. I've got a lot of things going on. You've got different things going on. You've got different products. But I think for people starting out, I think just pick one thing.
Pick one, start that, grow that, get that going, then add other things on. Don't try to do the whole thing all at once. Just start with one area, get your foot in the door. Once you're there, then you can expand.
I look at my businesses, and I know if I doubled down on just one business, it would go so far. But again, at that same time, I don't want to pick a hill and die on it. Does that make sense?
True.
With certain things though, like when I look at Bali, I've gone to Vietnam and Philippines recently to open up companies there. I look at Bali as not an unknown for me, but I see it as more volatile, meaning there's a lot of structure in the Vietnam business market. There's, very clear rules in the Philippines, a little bit more Wild West, but with Bali, there's a lot of unknowns. It's a young destination, and I don't know how. I was thinking about opening up one of my insurance offices there, and I don't know. I'm still undecided.
That's part of the fun with it, though. It's Wild West. It's like high thrill, high reward, but it could, not work out.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen it work really well for some people, especially owning villas. And I know people who bought villas or bought land, built a villa, and 3 years later have the whole thing paid for.
Nice.
Which is a great return, 3 years.
That's insane. So you're talking about 33% return?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 years done, 4 years done.
So what's the cost of construction then?
For?
Like per square meter for a nice villa?
About $5 million, which I don't know what that is in.
Okay.
5 million rupiah.
I love the idea of Bali, but I don't think I could raise my family there. And not because of the country scenario. I think it's because of the lack of schools, because of the lack of healthcare at the level Phuket is. I think it will be moving back a step, but also moving forward for a lot of people because that's not important to them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone has their own priorities.
Yeah, you're coming from a world that's established here. There's the infrastructure, there's the hospital system's been around for a while. There's been several generations who've been in Phuket raising their kids, so schools and universities are important. Bali's just starting that journey. So it would be a step back from now, but in 20 years, might be on the same page, progressing along that route.
Yeah.
But by that time, it'll be your kids looking to have kids.
Sure.
So I get where you're coming at.
The other thing as well is that when you buy a condominium here in Phuket, you can buy foreign freehold in your name forever.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really care about a 30-year lease if the price is right. I feel that 30 years is enough for somebody to enjoy a property. When looking at leases and 30 years, 50 years, whatever the time frame might be, I think it's a step in the right direction. It's not comfortable for buyers though. They want to think that they're going to live forever.
Yeah. Well, that's where expectations versus reality comes into. You want to live forever, have this amazing property that you pass on to your kids, but what can you accomplish in 30 years? And like you said, you can still do a lot. You can still get your return. You can still have some fun. And most of these, I'm not sure about here, but in Bali, Indonesia, they're 30 years with extension at year 30 to extend. And I don't know about you, I'm not going to be around 60, 70, 80 years from now, maybe, but probably not. Yeah. But I can still enjoy the property and still have that peace. I just can't pass it on to my kids.
It's been a little bit of a subject in the Thai news recently, the 30-year extensions.
Okay, yeah.
So traditionally, condos were sold foreign freehold or leasehold for 30 years, plus 30, plus 30. And there have been different courts that have said an extension is completely legal. There have been different courts that said, no problem. A lot of people, they'll pay the extensions up front, actually. So they've actually fully paid up for 90 years or 120 years. There's if you go to a different lawyer, they'll have a different structure. But recently it's just been said, look, you don't have to honor that 30-year extension if you don't want to in the Supreme Court. And it's massive news. It's rocked the market, and people have to address the elephant in the room. And it is a 30-year lease. The reality is, if you're leasing from a company, you're not leasing from like a personal family. Then, okay, for example, my kids are Thai, so I put a lot of my land into their names when possible at the certain ages that they are. And on top of that, you know, my wife's name gets used a lot, and that's perfectly legal, that's fine. But, you know, we're a family unit and we buy together. But that being said, a lot of people don't have that option. Yeah. So I think that a lot of people need to really address the fact that if it is a 30-year lease, they need to price it for 30 years. And that's the shake-up in the market now. If you want to start a Thai company, however, and do a legitimate business, not a loophole search, you actually want to have a real Thai company, you know, set down roots, do a business. Your business can buy land. Your business can buy the property, and that's okay. And we help people set up businesses. Another one of my businesses is helping people set up businesses. And it's perfectly fine. You can consult multiple legal firms about it and they'll all confirm that's the right way of doing it, and that's why the law is in place. But unfortunately, there's a lot of loophole hunters out there, and a lot of the lawyers now, they won't even touch a Thai company for buying property unless it's done with the good foundations.
Right. And this goes back to the earlier point of doing things the right way from the beginning. So when legislation does change, you are set.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing is happening in Indonesian government and the laws there. It changes over time. You want to make sure that you're protected when this happens. You're not, all your eggs are not in a really crappy basket. You have to keep paying for and fixing and just do it right from the first place. And similar ways, Indonesian company can own land, can own motorbikes and cars and different assets. And what actually has been happening is people come to Bali, set up a business in order to buy these things. And that is starting to get stepped down now too, because
inevitable.
Government's catching on. There's a lot of these businesses that aren't actually businesses, they're just people trying to buy assets. So there's going through past records, trying to catch these guys, trying to figure out how to stop this from happening in the future.
Phuket was built on years and years of money coming from everywhere. And you know, that's a whole nother story. That being said, if you are going to set up a business to own a property, then set up a business, pay taxes, employ local staff, you know, and it's not rocket science.
No, it's simple things that every business should be doing. And it's really going to help your business also bring in revenue and have employees that can run the business. So you're not trying to do everything. It's the right way to have a business. So just do it.
For now, like I think a lot of my clientele for my real estate company, they are more interested in condominiums because it's an easier way to ownership. However, I think villas are definitely more eye-catching,
of course,
and more romantic, and they're like, oh yeah, I want to have a villa with a pool.
It's no longer the white picket fence; it's the villa with the pool over the ocean.
And I hate to say they rent out so well. The rental returns on villas are just ridiculous. And if you get in the right price, then you're making your return. It's not a dead asset. And even if it is for a 30 years or you know, whatever agreement you come up with, it's definitely worth it for a lot of people. But the other thing as well that I want to, you know, make sure that people do understand, this is what I try and point out to a lot of people, is if you do go for that foreign freehold condo and it lasts longer than 30 years, have you ever looked inside a 30-year-old condominium? You're not buying a castle. You're not buying a manor house. It's a condominium. It's going to need a renovation. It's going to need upkeep. And luckily, and I mean, we've just seen with all of the earthquakes that have been happening now, luckily, Thai construction is so advanced, which is good.
And the last thing you want is some catastrophic event ruining your entire life savings, all your assets just gone like that.
I mean, it's scary. And you know, another one of my things, we have an insurance company, and it's just like, we insure a lot of houses and villas, and it's just like, okay, wow.
And this is one of the benefits of going with someone that is in the community for a long time, that knows these things, can spot the different buildings to stay away from, which ones to go to. And especially you having insurance, you can help insure that situation so you don't lose everything at once.
Yeah, I mean, like...
It's very, very well done.
It's, we've put something together. It's a good structure. But one thing I will say is defamation laws in Thailand, I can never outright and say, don't go with that building, don't do this. I can just say, look, I recommend that you start looking at this side of the island. I recommend that you...
But a lot of people coming here for their first time or 10th time and decided they want to move here don't know that. And having that guidance, you're now the local guide.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm the local guide. I'd say
in a way.
I mean, the thing is, like, the way wording is as well, it's so important that, you know, we help people set up their lives in Asia. We help people navigate, you know, certain parts, and we'll lay out a plan for people and they can choose to follow it or not. And even though we don't have to, we make sure that all of our staff, they have their own individual license, for example. You're being connected with an individually licensed agent, but the communication is helped with from us, and that's the structure that we like, because that way everybody's they have a person to communicate with, and you know, they have somewhere to escalate it to as well.
And that's important now, especially when everything's robot, AI. You want a real person to talk to, and to have that real communication, which we saw in AcroYoga, how much communication helps. Having that in the business, it's vital.
I think, you know, if you are going to start a business in Southeast Asia, learning the language would be, you know, a massive part of it. I think it'd be a huge part of integrating, actually making sure your business is going to succeed. And moreover, I think doing a business that can actually be useful for the country that you're in as well. And if you're catering to an expat market, that's fine, but you know, try and hire local.
Absolutely,
that's the key for me. I've tried to hire local at every step of the way. Sometimes certain roles, you need to hire a foreigner to maybe teach the Thais to do it, or you know, put a template in place just to get the good framework. But
don't necessarily have the exposure and the training that our backgrounds have, and so they just need to be taught. And once they're taught, they can fully handle most of the work, if not all of it, that's being sent at them. And I found, especially the Indonesians, some of the work that I've had is just phenomenal. I'm just blown away by it, and it's just been fantastic to have someone who can understand Indonesian, understand the landscape there, and understand my needs of what I want, and then they can bridge the gap and make it all happen. And hiring local is a very key part of that.
One thing that a lot of people struggle with here is the fact that, you know, that not a lot of Thai people speak really good English. They speak good English, but not really good English. And that's the gap. And I think Thailand's closing that gap. I mean, that gap is closing every day, actually, because a lot of Asia Lifestyle Magazine readers and the people that interact with our videos are Thai, and they can speak English. They're following everything. And I believe that where Vietnam has closed that gap with really good English, I think Thailand's getting better and better. The one thing that no one has, not one country in Southeast Asia has, is the Thai culture, the Thai smile, the Thai mannerisms. I love Thai people. I love Thai people. They're the best people to work with in certain things, but also they're the best people to welcome you in the home as well. But again, I've not been to Bali enough to experience it like I've experienced here.
I mean, here's been pretty welcoming. You welcomed me into your home. That was been very nice. I mean, Thai is the land of smiles, and it has that reputation for a reason. It might be changing and having more influence from Western countries and money and capitalism, but at the heart, that culture is still here and very prevalent.
Yeah, one thing I would say is Thai culture has not been colonized by a Western power before. I do think there are a lot of Western influences though, and I think we see a lot more brand names here now coming in, and I have a lot of Thai friends, and they love a brand name.
Yeah,
really, they love a brand name. They go to Europe for shopping, and it's a thing. Not, how can I say, it used to be go to Europe to get your brand names and then come back and look what I've got because you can't get it in Thailand. But now, over the last 2 years, 3 years, Louis Vuitton has been popping up. Hermes has been popping up. Like, you're getting some really expensive things, and it's 100% tax. We talk about Trump tariffs and stuff, but if you want something from abroad in Thailand, you've got 100% taxation on it, sometimes more, especially for a fancy sports car, for example. You can get everything here, but if you want something brand name, it's double.
Same in Indonesia. It's 100%. It's doubled, and it's a lot. And then so when I see something nice, I'm like, damn, they paid a lot for that.
Do you see like lots of fancy cars on the road there, or?
Maybe once a month, like once every couple of weeks, I see a fancy car, but not on the regular, no.
So here, I would say 1 in 4 cars is a BMW or a Mercedes.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, BMW, maybe once every couple of weeks I'll see one. It's such high import, and the roads are not as great there as they are here. So anything that you do get is gonna get knocked around a bit.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I see these people with low riding car, and I'm just, you ain't gonna be driving that much. A lot of potholes, the infrastructure, because the road there, here you have 4-lane highways. I think we have a 3-lane for a small portion.
Wow.
And that's it. And most of it's 1 lane. Rarely do you get 2.
Wow.
So everything's 1 lane. It's getting trodden by, hundreds of thousands of cars, just constantly hitting it, rain hitting it, and it falls apart.
Wow.
But they come back and repair it, and it's just this, again, because of the explosion of tourism, the infrastructure wasn't built there to support this. So you have the road, and all along the road are all the shops, so they can't widen the road, and what do?
We have certain areas in Phuket that are expanding exponentially, especially in Bang Tao. That's the hot place, and I say most of my clients would invest there for so many reasons. Basically, the whole area, it used to be a very local area. You had Laguna, which is probably like one of the biggest investment groups that's landed in Phuket. They're an establishment. Banyan Tree and everything like that. But you've got Laguna, the golf course, and everything's sprouted around there. And then you have companies like Boat Patana, which, ingrained in the community. They're from Phuket, and they've built these lifestyle centers like Boat Lagoon, Boat Avenue, and all these condominiums, they've sprouted around there. All these villas have sprouted around there, and they're gearing up for those people that want to live in Asia long term. They're gearing up for those people that want to have a little bit of a kitchen. They want to have, a little bit of space. They want to have, things around them they can walk to. But the Bang Tao area, infrastructure wise, there are some small roads that need to be expanded. There are, traffic jams to get into Bang Tao. It's from outside. It takes a little while. And I think for a place like Phuket, obviously it's a little bit better infrastructure than Bali, but I think, we need to start addressing the elephant in the room, and that elephant in the room is public transport. I think we need at least more public buses, on every 5 minutes. I think that would help a lot. I'm also thinking about raising capital for some water taxis up and down the coast. I think that would be really good. And obviously not during the low season, but I don't think they need it during the low season, because obviously the weather's a little bit rougher, but there's less people. So you don't need them. That makes sense. Right. But it'll be a very seasonal thing, water taxis for high season. And then I'm a big advocate for going train up and down the island. I think that would make such a difference to have at least a train or a tram system. And the nice thing about Thailand is they're so open to PPP, a public-private partnership. So to get a few like-minded individuals for that one, that would be awesome.
All of that would be...
All of that would be good. Unfortunately, you do have, and I'm not saying it's unfortunate, democracy is amazing, but you have, politicians in place for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to implement something like that, they wouldn't reap the benefits unless they were to be re-elected. So it would be like a 5-year, 6-year, plan, but they're only in power for 4 years.
Yeah. So that limits
it limits.
Yeah.
It limits.
Yeah, because we see big swings like this in Indonesia when the government changes. It just, the new one tries to undo everything that the old one did and restart again. And all this progress that was made, 75% of it is backtrack, and only like the best 25% move forward.
I mean, the biggest one for the UK, and I know it sounds really stupid, and we've got the same problem here, is water reservoirs.
Okay.
In the UK, it rains how much? Like nearly every day.
I hear.
And if you were to combat the amount of housing issues that we have in the UK, we need more houses in the UK if we were to house everybody properly. But they couldn't do it because there's not enough water reservoirs to actually feed those houses proper water.
Yeah.
And Phuket has the same problems.
Yeah.
We need a little bit more water reservoirs. We need another, we need water reservoirs, and we also need water cleaning as well. More water cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, I think
that's quite common in tropical places, especially island life, where you're kind of not near the main infrastructure of cities.
Luckily, we're connected by Saracen Bridge.
Okay.
So actually, Phuket is connected to the mainland.
Yeah.
By a bridge. And
by one bridge, though. Yeah.
Well,
but still.
it's still a 4-lane highway bridge.
Yeah.
Actually, 6 lanes if you count the hard shoulder.
Okay.
And that connectivity has made Phuket such a powerhouse. People slate Phuket. Like there are so many people that love Hua Hin. Why? Because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, Hua Hin, you've got at least 3 hours to drive into Bangkok to get to your nearest airport. Mm-hmm. So 3 hours just to get to an airport. Then you've got another hour or 2 hours in the airport. That's 5 hours. For me, I can nip to the airport in 20 minutes. I'm on a plane. I'm where I need to be, and back again by the time you've even reached the airport. And moreover, Phuket is connected to the mainland, which, you can go on those road trips. But the other part is that Phuket, because it's an island, you can only build so much. There are land restrictions here. Yeah. You can't build over 120 meters above sea level. It used to be 80 meters, but they've gone, all right, let's add a couple of meters. Mm-hmm. But now with Phuket, it can only get so big. It's only that much land. It doesn't get any bigger. Mm-hmm. With places like Pattaya, I mean, it is the mainland. It can forever grow, and there's no scarcity. With Phuket, it is a land grab right now. If a development company can snag a piece of land for the right price, that in its own, it's going to make money without even building on it yet. And that there's not a lot of opportunity like that in the world that is going to see that growth.
Right.
One thing I will say is, it's busy in high season.
Yeah.
It's shoulder to shoulder in high season for some places, and then you can go to quiet places as well.
Right.
What's it like for Bali when it's high
season? I try not to even go outside.
Really?
Yeah. You go on Google Maps, it's usually green, yellow, red. I swear it goes black. Just like all over. It is
really
so bad. I drive to teach AcroYoga classes, and usually it takes me about 12 minutes to get there. High season could be an hour. That's and on a motorbike too. And that is just 12 minutes to an hour. And it's across the entire island. And it's especially our high season is the highest is December. Mid-December through mid-January. A lot of people come for Christmas. We have a big Russian influence, and Christmas is celebrated at the beginning of January for them. So you get a mix of people coming before the New Year, Christmas, come for New Year, and then stay for the Christmas after. And so that entire first week of December through the third week of January, it's just bumper to bumper traffic, impossible to get around, but also very vibrant, lots of events going on, lots of activity, everybody's wanting to do things, very fun time to be there.
What is the Russian influence in Bali right now? I mean, it's a bit of a, I'm okay to talk about it. I've got lots of Russian friends and you know, for me, my Russian friends are absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I mean, I was in Macro the other day and I was doing a shop with the family and it was just a sea of blonde hair. Yeah. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was during the high season and they're all like, they're renting their villas, they're stocking up, I get it. But I mean, there's a lot of Russian businesses opened up as well. Yeah. And hey, I don't mind them. They're pretty cool. And but don't get me wrong, there's a lot of the straight-faced ones as well.
Yeah, until you get to know them. I really like Russians. I have a lot of Russian friends. The reason I'm in Phuket is visiting some Russian friends that I met in Bali.
Oh, wow.
And while we're on vacation here. So I've got a relationship with them. And within Bali, there's a lot of people from Russia, especially after the war started, have all come out to Bali to find this glamorous lifestyle of being an influencer, being on Instagram, creating a business online, and they're following the same path as kind of everybody else there, but there tends to be a lot of them. And they tend to be very welcoming once you get to know them a bit, but they kind of can be, I don't know, more reserved and guarded, and I think that primarily comes from not feeling confident in their ability to speak English, especially in another country. And once I find that and this goes for just about anybody from any country, once they find their confidence in English speaking, it opens up a lot of doors.
I've found that for a lot of the time, I mean, that's a really good point. It's a really good point. I found that I try and read a lot of books, and when reading Russian literature, I read that, you know, I read somewhere that about the straight face, you know, they want to be taken seriously, so they don't want to be looked at like as a clown, so they keep that straight face, so you think that they're a serious person. And that was I thought that was a really nice explanation. I can't remember where I read that. It makes more, you know, cultural understanding. You mentioned influencers. I want to talk about influencers in Bali because I mean, it seems like the whole of Bali has been made for influencers and influenced by influencers. Are they everywhere?
They're everywhere. Like, it's to the point when someone says they're an influencer, it's just like, you know, saying what country you're from. It's like, okay. You know, it's just like, it's a nice detail to know, but everyone here is that, so you got to give me something more. Everybody's influencing for something, which always makes it fun because there's always some content party going on, photo shoot, doing some fun thing with drones, or there's always some exciting thing going down.
A lot of the architecture that I see in Bali is like, what the hell is that, and what the hell, and it's just built for a picture. And there's no purpose except for a nice picture. You said before, and off camera, but we had a discussion before, and you said that there's a permanent Burning Man somewhere. It's
called Nuanu Creative City, and it is a space that is really brought about to inspire creativity. And so there's a lot of art installations, and many of these are for Instagram, for taking a picture. And you see this around Bali. You've probably seen the Bali swing. Those are all over Bali. That you have the gates, and those have been put up with the mountain in the background, and they put them up at different locations and charge 500,000 for a picture, and people line up for hours to do this.
Really?
And you have just breathtaking landscapes where people have set up the right exact spot for the photo, and people line up to do this. So Nuanu, this creative city, has kind of taken that energy and made this new city with permanent art installations throughout the property. So when you drive in, you have these big giant heads that are AI talking heads, and they just have these very intellectual conversations that's completely run off ChatGPT and AI. You've got this media park that runs at night, and it's all LEDs, and it's like 45-minute walk through this forest and the park with all these different creative uses of LED, really trippy kind of place to walk through.
Wow.
And different things like this. Every building is unique, it's organic, it's beautiful. The architecture is very forward thinking and creative, not your standard just block houses in any bit. So it's definitely a space to take photos.
I think I need to come and visit you in Bali.
Please do.
And I need to see a lot of...
Might change your mind on it.
I think for a visit, I think it's a great place.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, I am looking at maybe starting a business there.
Yeah. I mean, I see your earlier points about wanting to stay here with the infrastructure and things be established here.
Only because of the kids.
For sure. But would you have invested in something here 20 years ago, and now you would be like, oh, that would have been a great investment? I think Bali's kind of at that same point now. You have that opportunity to just be in at the beginning of things, and in 10, 15 years, you can be like, okay, that was a solid move as you see the island grow.
I look at the whole of Southeast Asia as an opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I look at Bali as a lifestyle choice that I think I'll have to explore a little bit more. But yeah, definitely. Well, look, our time is up.
Okay.
I would love to do this again with you another time, perhaps on site in Bali.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. I'll show you around.
Yeah, so you can find Brent's Instagram in the description below, but also if you're interested in his products, in his mats and other products that he's got, we will have them for a limited time only inside the Asia Lifestyle Magazine shop. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and share these videos to people that you think would like them. So yeah, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, easy. And
appreciate it.
See you later.